All right, 2026. I can say that I really didn't know what 2026 was going to look like when I was a youngster, but we here now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the new year was good. The end of the year was good. If you check my page out, you notice that I made a video a few years ago saying that how I would never not have a job where I at least didn't take 1 week off during the winter break season. I remember I had that job. That job was crazy. Just having to cover for people, do your own work, run groups, do intakes, do interventions. That was nuts. I remember just at the end of that on New Year's Eve because that's when I got my day off finally. I remember just going to the car and being a complete mess. So never doing that again, and I haven't because I got a job with the school district. This was my fifth time having a full winter break. I recommend it. I feel like the world kind of should shut down. You know what I mean? Like if everything starts over on the first of the year, right? You know what I mean? The world should shut down. We should just shut down. Everybody should just take at least be easy. At least be easy. I feel like to be easy, you don't have a lot of people at work. I know a lot of jobs like to pretend like they're urgent. I'm not to pretend. I'm sure there's a lot of urgencies going on, but everybody should have like a fundamental understanding that it's time to shut it down around December 10th. Let's everybody slow down. You know, bring it all the way to a halt, and let's just slow down. You know what I mean? So, but some people don't have it like that. But I still feel like it's a good time. I know for myself, I do love having those 2 weeks off. That's great. I love it. But we back. Work is back. In a few days. So that's just kind of how it's gonna go. And I'm grateful to be able to go back to work. Let me tell that. But for the holiday season, went to Disneyland. That was a whole thing. And I went to Disneyland on actual Christmas Day. I've been to Disneyland for the holiday season before. Like I went in November a few years ago, and it was the beginning of the holiday season. So like we was there for a small world. It's a small world to be closed, and then on our third of 4 days there, we saw it reopen, and that was tight. But I was there for actual Christmas this year, and there was a storm. There was a storm, an atmospheric river. I know that term because I live in Oregon and we have those quite often, right? So, but it didn't hamper the fun. It rained 3 of the 4 days. The first day we were in the park, it rained a little bit. It was dry, rained in the middle of the day, then it stopped. That was cool. Um, but because we didn't know what the weather was going to be like for the rest of the trip, we hit it hard. We might have rolled. I rolled about 13 rides that day. The people I was with, they rolled more. They was just ready to go. They rolled more. I had to chill for a little bit. But it was kind of interesting, to ride all those rides. Just kind of hitting it. I've been to Disneyland a few times, and I never really hit it that hard. I'm like a hybrid of a person that likes to ride rides, but also likes to like kind of chill and take in the ambiance. But because the weather was kind of crappy, the ambiance wasn't all the way gone, but it was down. It was down a little bit. It didn't feel as magical. It still felt good because you're in Disneyland. Characters are out, people are around. The smells, the sounds, the things that make Disneyland click were still clicking. But Disneyland is a place like it's built for the good weather. It's built to be outside, so it's gonna take a little hit when it rains, but not too much. The lines were low. It rained on Christmas Eve, like it rained hard on Christmas Eve, and people weren't at the park. People were not at the park. We were just able to walk on rides. We were wet. We were like because usually how we do it at Disneyland, we take a break at the hotel around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, come back at night. We on vacation. We just want to take a break, chill for a little bit. But before we took our break, though, we was able to ride a lot of rides. You know what I mean? Like we rode a lot of rides. Rise of the Resistance. If you know anything about Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, how that popularity is at Disneyland. we were able to get on that ride, and we just walked straight through the line. Now that line is long. I can see why the line wait are the wait times be crazy, because that line was long. The wait time was 25 minutes, and it might have took the whole 25 to get to the front of the line, to where the ride started. The ride was definitely worth it. Now that I know, I probably will just like pay the $35 because it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride. Um, you know the the Disney character staff always. I feel like the first time I was there, I realized like how much of a production it is for each ride. And for Rise of the Resistance, the production was A1. They definitely acted like they kidnapped you, and they had like the tone of voice. It was fun. It was fun. The ride was fun. But yeah, but then I never rode Splash Mountain, so we rode Splash Mountain because we was already wet, and there was no wait time. So me, my daughters, and my wife, we went on Splash Mountain. And I want to say Splash Mountain was deceiving. You think you get wet on the final splash, you really get wet on the second splash in Splash Mountain. That's where they get you. You know what I mean? So, but like we said, we was already soaking wet, and before we went and took our break at the hotel, we said let's just do it. So we did that. That was fun. But yeah, on a wet day at Disneyland, man, no people, not a lot of people were there. It really kind of made it worth it. You know what I mean? And that was fun. Christmas Day though, it was sunny. Christmas Day was sunny. That was like Christmas miracle. It was sunny, sun was beaming. It was kind of hot. You know what I mean? And that was cool. The park was a little busy. Not as busy as I seen it before in my kind of going to Disneyland, but it was pretty busy. It wasn't no slouch. And then the final day we were there, December 26th, it poured, but this time when it poured, the crowds were not low. The crowds were still kind of there. They was toughing it out. So that kind of was like, you know what I mean? That didn't I feel like if it's gonna rain, you want to have low crowds and you kind of maneuver through things. But it was fine. The trip was fun. My daughters had fun. It was my youngest daughter. She's 4. So when the first time we went as a family, she was only a baby. So this time she was engaged. She was trying to, get all the characters' attentions, get all the autographs. I've been posting a lot of content on this page and on my Instagram page. I still got more. You know what I'm saying? I haven't posted it all, but it was fun. Some things that I learned about Disneyland is that if you ride in rides, you're not spending money on merch and food. I learned that. I was like, like the first day we was there, we was busy riding so many rides. I was like, I didn't even spend any money on anything else. I just was going from ride to ride to ride to ride. You know what I mean? So also, I think I found the sweet spot for me personally as a Disney person. I do like going to Disneyland. It is fun. But the sweet spot for me would be 2 days, 3 days max. You know what I mean? Like that third day, I was like, you know what? I could go home tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. It was fun. But 3 days, I feel like 3 days you can get a lot done. Especially if you if you're willing to take that break and come back and tough it out, you can get it done in 3 days. You can get it done in 2 days. One day at this park, one day at this park. If you want to hop or whatever, I don't really know if I've done hopper a few times. I've also been where I didn't do hopper. I don't really know if I'm a hopper advocate. You know what I mean? But it does help because I only got hopper because I was with a big group of people and I didn't want to be the only family. Hey, we about to go over there, and I'm like, I can't go. I ain't got the hopper, so I kind of want to take the limitations off of where we can go. But as if I went with which is my family, we probably just do. Hey, we pick a park. We do Disneyland, California Adventure, Disneyland. Just kind of figure it out. California Adventure, I feel like if you I feel like if you just do that park, I feel like it's kind of a ripoff because it closes at 10, and it's small. It's I can't go to Disneyland. I feel like when how you gotta reserve your spot, and I feel like when I reserve it at California Adventure first, I feel like I'm always waiting just to go to Disneyland. I'm waiting for till 11 o'clock. All right, now we can go to Disneyland and see the real stuff. But California Adventure is cool. It's fun. You can get a sugary alcoholic beverage if you're into that for $20. You can hang out. I feel like the illusion of we have alcohol here because it's $20. It's $20 for a drink and it's the syrupiest. it's just it's just booze. Not great. You can't get beer though. I feel like beer is probably the cheat code. You know what I mean? You probably get a beer and just like keep it slow and steady. But anyway, but yeah, 3 days. 3 days is good enough, and it's cheaper too. I feel like because like I'm always trying to do like elaborate like 4 day trips, but like 3 days you get done in three. And then if you stay in California for like 5 days, 7 days, you can go do something else. 7 days is a lot. I feel like I don't want to be home. I don't want to be away from my house for 7 days. I don't think I will ever take a vacation that long. Maybe when my girls are older, they're like both teenagers or something. But I don't know if I'm ready for like to be away from my house for that long. 7 days is a lot. But yeah, it was like kind of a breath of fresh air to be like, oh, maybe we can do it in 3 days. That makes booking a Disney trip not so daunting. You know what I mean? It just seems like, oh, especially with a Costco, they got that 2 day pack for $380 or whatever, right? You buy four of them, and your family go. That's about $1,200. You get some flights down there. Flights down there could be $2,000. You stay at a cheap hotel. You know what I mean? $100 a night. So $4,000 can get you there. $4,000 to get you there. That's a lot, but fun costs money. Don't forget that fun costs money. So, but yeah, that was cool. Then we came back home and we just chilled for the rest of the break. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready for the year. I am going to be an adjunct professor again for Virginia State University. And that's going to be this time. Last time I didn't get thrown in the wolves. Like I knew I was starting, but I didn't start yet. My official start date was in the middle of the semester, so I was kind of like, I'll just kind of ride the wave. This time, though, I feel like I'm gonna come in a little more up front. Like, I'm gonna make some videos, introduce myself. Kind of have a little more guidelines. Really kind of push what needs to be pushed. I feel like a lot of students, just be more clear about what the expectations are. Really push that when you write as an academic, you have to use APA format. Even if I give you an assignment, in the description of an assignment doesn't say you have to do it, I would just, rule of thumb, cite the textbook, right? Connect your reflection to practice, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're writing a reflection, I would just go back to the text, cite the text, connect the text to your reflection. You do one citing, and that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like if you're not citing anything, you're just going off of reflections and trying to use more style. Like when I was in grad school, my professor on my first major paper that I got a B on, she probably gave me a B out of just because I was, just because she wanted to see me succeed. I probably didn't deserve to be. But she said that when you're in academia, you got to be. It's more about getting it correct, like the writing format correct, than like making the words be expressive. I feel like I was using expressive words. I made it sound real fresh. I made it sound like I was using a whole lot of similes and things and metaphors. And she was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but I need to know." Did you actually, connect what the textbook said, the theory, to your practice or to your thought? Because that's what academia is about. So I'm really just pushing that idea more to the students and connecting with them more. I'm a social worker. I've had a lot of jobs in social work, right? So I feel like I can be a person. I am a person that can help guide their career, right? Whatever they want to do in their career, I've probably done it, except hospice social work. Not going to do that one, but I know people who have done that and are currently doing that. So if they need me to connect some dots, I can connect them with some people that know how to get that done as well. But yeah, I just want to try to build social workers up as much as I can, because I know when I was in grad school, professors, I don't want to say they weren't available or they weren't like helpful, but I feel like if I had a professor like myself, not to my own horn, But if I had a professor like myself, it'd have been cooler. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been all right. So, but yeah, 2026, man, I'm trying to just continue the journey, professional journey. I forget often that I have my principal license. I could be a school principal, so I'm really gonna try to hit the ground with that. I feel like where I'm at now, I'm probably 3 years away from being like a principal of any sort. I got you got to kind of do the steps they want you to do. Go through the rigmarole, which is fine. It's part of the game. This is what I'm here to do. I invested in it, so I'm going to do it. That just is what it is, right? So, but yeah, but I don't want to get overwhelmed. It's only been a few days. You know what I mean? In 2026, but I'm in a weird spot. I don't feel good about the state of the world, but life's all right, which is weird. It's like I don't really like to, of course we doom scroll and we do all these things, but you know, things are going okay. Last year was pretty good for me and my family. I hit a lot of I hit some milestones. Make some things happen. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be too upset. I'm just hoping that things, stay where they need to stay, and we just grind our way into prosperity, right? So, but yeah, enough me rambling. I just wanted to get back on this mic, with the Disneyland, back, do some more work, try to take some more trips this year, try to connect some more dots. I really do want to get back being out there. I feel like when I was out there, inbox stayed full of all kind of opportunities, right? But then I got burnt out, and because I didn't have anybody to lean on about what to do when you are a curator and you get burnt out, instead of just quitting, you got to kind of figure it out. And I just quit. It was good though. I feel like I needed that break. I needed that break to to see what things was, right? And now we're back, and creating now is a whole new space. But we'll get to that later. About how creating is. Maybe I'll bring in on guests. We'll talk about the space of creating, being an academic, being trying to fit all the things into one, right? All my hobbies, photography, sneakers, all the things, and trying to make it into like my platform, like trying to make it into my platform to share with you, right? And we'll build this thing together. But anyway, signing off. Happy New Year. The good thing about the New Year is that we do the holiday season all over again. And if you know me, Thanksgiving, I'm already on the countdown. Peace.